Talk. This is Garden Erin. My name is Natalie, and today I'm just going over seeds, and I have to organize everything that I have. I don't have all of my seeds in yet. I'm still waiting on a bunch of my flower seeds to arrive, but I do have a whole lot of vegetable seeds, including things I have left over from last year that I didn't use. And I just want to go through everything, go through the dates. Last year I made a video that shows you how to organize your seeds by seed starting dates on the back of the packets, and we've created a calendar and marked down on the calendar like when to start what and kind of organize everything that way, which is what I usually like to do. So I'm not going to go through all of that with you again today. I'll just link that video down below so you can see it. And today what I really wanted to just do is talk about seed starting itself. Today is February 3rd, and here in Zone 5 it's just way too early to start my seeds, even using the greenhouse. I know we're all itching for spring. We have 6 weeks to go, and even come early spring, things are still so cold. I remember last year, April was such a cold month last year. We were trying to put our greenhouse up, and we just kept getting bombarded with wind and horrible weather, and it took us forever to get the greenhouse done. So this year I'm so thankful it's out there and I have it. I'll be able to start a little bit earlier, but this is still just too soon. So the only thing I can really do is start planning ahead and figuring out what I'll do when. So the reason you don't want to start too soon, and I know everyone wants to, unless you have a really good indoor setup that provides a lot of light, and you're really prepared for it, and maybe you're a bit experienced with seed starting inside. If you're pretty new or intermediate, starting too soon just poses a lot of problems. One, there's not enough sun coming in through our windows to really keep like vegetable plants and plants that really love to be outside in full sun. There's just not enough light coming in through our windows to keep seeds going incredibly well. A lot of times they end up very long, very leggy, reaching for as much light as they can get, and this results in weak stems. And our plants, when we put them into the ground later on, they're going to have a hard time strengthening up, and they just end up, some you end up losing, they end up dying, and then some just end up very weak and not performing well in the garden at all. Another problem we end up running into very often is called damping off. And damping off is due to a fungus, like these little molds and things that grow in on the stem. Usually once the plant starts getting its first set of leaves, that's when damping off starts to really happen. So just as you are like, oh, my seeds are doing really, really great, all of a sudden the next day they're all like down in the dirt, and their stems are like black, and you can literally pick them up and they've broken right off from where they attach to the roots. That's damping off. The fungus gets in there and destroys the stem, and it's just dead. This is due to a lack of airflow. We don't have the wind inside that we would get outside. You want to turn on fans. You want a delicate balance of humidity around your seeds. If you're starting your seeds with domes or a plastic covering over them, after they really start to come up and start developing, once they start developing that first set of leaves, you want to take the dome lids off. You want to start opening things out and aerating them. You have to keep your seeds moist, but you don't want things so wet and humid that you grow molds, mildews, funguses, and end up having a damping off problem. Another thing that can happen when you're planting indoors, and let's say your seeds do really well and you've got full growing plants, and one thing that can really happen inside is that our plants get so used to being indoors, they're warm, they're getting a lot of sunlight, they could end up just going straight into bolting, especially things like lettuces, cabbage, spinach, things like that. Instead of growing beautiful leaves, they could end up bolting because they do prefer the colder temperatures. They're just enjoying such a wonderful environment. They just want to go straight into producing flowers. So early bolting can be a problem when you're growing indoors as well. Just be aware of that. It doesn't always happen. But the biggest problem with that, when you've got a plant doing incredibly well inside and you're like, oh, see, my plants do great and I started them early, and they're starting to want to go into flower, by the time you put them outside, you're stunting that flower time when you transplant it. You're going to be putting that plant into the ground when it should be putting energy into those flower buds it has created. But now, because it's being transplanted into the ground, it has to transfer energy into establishing into the ground now. And now it's going to focus on root development and getting all settled into the ground and take energy away from those flower buds it put on while it was indoors. So if you can see that problem, it's a transfer of energy. So you really want to time your plants to go outside at a great time where they can establish, focus on some root growth, focus on some stem growth before they put flowers out. That's just very important. So starting too soon definitely leads to that problem of how it's going to transfer and deal with energy once it's transplanted outside. Okay, so that's why I wait, and I just don't start too early. You do what you like. I'm just sharing with you what I like to do because this is what I found works for me. I've been growing vegetables and flowers for about 20 years, so I'm just sharing my experience with you. Now I have so many seeds. How do you know which seeds to start when? It's simple. Read the back of the seed packet because it tells you exactly what you need to do. What starts better outside, what starts better inside, when you should start it inside. So you're going to have some seeds that want to start like 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date, things like peppers that really need it warm, whereas like your broccoli seeds, you only want to start about 2 to 4 weeks before that last frost date. They're not going to be inside in the greenhouse or in the house as long as tomatoes and peppers. So when you say, when do I start my plants or my seeds, it's really going to depend. A, what zone are you in? B, what seeds are you talking about wanting to start? And when is your last frost date? So without that bit of information, asking people, when should I start my seeds, you're going to get a variable amount of answers that don't always make sense, or answers that work great for one seed, but not all seeds. So do bear that in mind. Read your seed packets. They have all the information on them that you need to know. So what seeds do well starting indoors versus what should I direct sow outside? Things like sunflowers, squashes, pumpkins, I do all of those direct sowing. Zucchini is such a fast growing crazy plant in the garden for a lot of people. You can direct sow them and have zucchini before you know it. I just don't start things like that indoors. They take up a lot of space inside. Lettuces, spinach, carrots, those are very early season vegetables. They can go out before the frost dates are really over with. You do want to cover things like your spinach. You don't want to just expose them to extreme temperatures, but they can go out before the frost is over with. Those can go directly into the ground. I don't start those inside because they do like those colder temperatures, and when things start to warm up too much, lettuces and spinaches just begin to bolt. So they really need an early start outdoors. What I really like to start inside is things like my broccoli, my tomatoes, all of my different kinds of peppers. My dogs are walking around sneezing. Things like beans can be started inside, start giving them a nice head start. Corn is something I direct sow right into rows, obviously. And melons and all that kind of thing can be started inside. They're starting to play. So if you hear background noises, my dogs are at it again. I'll show them to you in a little bit. My two little corgis. So this is what they decide to do when I start filming. The attention has to be on them, of course. So I like to get my seeds at like Baker Creek. I do really like buying from Baker Creek because I know that everything I get from them is heirloom. And when you buy heirloom seeds versus hybrids, you can collect your seed from the plants later on in the season and store them and have the exact same plant come up for you again the following year. You can't do that with hybrids. So be aware of buying heirloom seeds versus hybrid seeds. The other place, I usually grab a lot of seeds pretty much everywhere just so I have a nice variety come planting season. I get things from Lowe's and Tractor Supply, and I'll grab things while they're on sale, especially in the fall. I got these gigantic bags of burpee seeds for garden beans and corn. These were on sale for like, I think I got these for like half off. So I got these for like $5 versus the $10.99 that they were in the store. So I am going to be extending my garden this year. And, oh, don't eat my seed packets. I'll be extending my garden this year. I'll be making it bigger. I was so if you watched any of my videos last year, I was so happy with my corn. It just did amazingly well, and so I want a bigger area for a lot more corn this year. We actually have eaten it all. It's all gone. I froze some, I canned some, I dehydrated some, and it's gone. So I really didn't have enough to make it through the whole winter. So I'm going to be planting more this year. Tomatoes did so good last year. We were eating tomatoes like crazy throughout the summer and into the fall, and I still have plenty of tomatoes in my pantry that I canned. We do a lot of canning videos on this video when the fall comes around, or on this channel. We'll definitely be doing more this year. And just, we're going to be very busy this year with the bigger garden coming in, the greenhouse starting, and all these things that I just wanted to do with you coming up this year. I'm also going to be doing some winter sowing. I'm still waiting for those seeds to arrive. My poppies are in there, and poppies need a good cold stratification to really germinate well. So I'm going to winter sow those in milk jugs, and I'll definitely do a video on that. So watch for that coming up on how to winter sow things that need that stratification process. I know there's still like a lot of talk about a seed shortage this year, and so I wanted to put that out there. If you're having a difficult time finding seeds this year, I'm really sorry that that's happening, and two, please use this channel as a chance to exchange seed with each other. I fully support seed exchange and trading. So down in the comments below, if you're looking for a specific type of seed, go ahead and post it. Use that space to trade with each other and to see, if you can find what it is that you're looking for amongst each other. We can definitely use this channel as like a giant seed library. I think it's a wonderful chance to do that. Maybe I can even set up a video on which all of that can be done, so that you know exactly what video to go to go ahead and do like a seed exchange with each other. I think actually that would be a wonderful idea. So I will plan on putting something like that together, and just let this little community on this channel really help each other and just be there for each other, everything gardening related. I remember when I began gardening, my husband and I actually started like this little homestead, and it was so hard. It was a really hard way of life trying to do a full actual homestead. And I remember just wanting people to help me. I wanted people to give me advice. I wanted neighbors who like exchanged eggs for butter, you know, all that kind of thing. I wanted the community, and like, I really didn't have that kind of people around me, even though we were way up in upstate New York, out in the country, people living off the land everywhere. So I thought, I just didn't have that kind of community around me where people shared my ideas, and it was very hard to find like-minded people to have that kind of life with. So if I can create that in any way on this channel, that would make me really happy. So let's go ahead and do that, and let me know your ideas as well, if you have any, about how we can make this more of a sharing community, from ideas and tips and things that we do, to doing something like seed trading and an online seed library. I think something like that would be really cool. So I'm like looking over all of my seeds here. I have a lot of organizing that I need to do. Again, I'll put that other video link down below for you. But look at these stocks. Aren't these gorgeous? I can't wait to see these. Now, stocks are going to be direct sown into the garden come spring. Once all your frost is gone, find where you're going to be planting these and direct sow them in full sun, and they will end up absolutely beautiful in the garden. And I really cannot wait until these flower and I see these in person, because I just thought these were so pretty. Another thing I got that I thought was really pretty are these apricot cosmos. So pretty. I'm really not a huge cosmo lover. Every time I grow them, they get so tall and like wispy. I always think they're just kind of weedy, but I do try to grow them for the pollinators. Bees love them, butterflies love them, and I just thought these were just gorgeous. So I'm hoping that these kind of change my mind on how I feel about cosmos, and maybe these will be what finally win me over on them. So, oh, and if you're wondering about how to plant them, it says sow in place in mid-spring, in the full sun, fairly warm temperatures, moderate moisture, remove spent blooms to prolong your blooming season. So you do want to deadhead your cosmos. And oh gosh, I cannot wait until growing season, guys. I cannot wait. I am so excited to just get in and clean up the greenhouse. I have trees in there right now because I do have a nonprofit organization where we plant trees for people. So my greenhouse is full of sleeping trees at the moment. So I think this coming week, we're supposed to have like 60-degree temperatures, which I'm so excited about. And I know it's coming because we've had like sun and sun and sun day after day after day. And I'm so excited. It's actually starting to feel a little bit like spring, even though there's snow on the ground. But anyway, and when it warms up this week, I'm planning on getting out to the greenhouse. I just bought a new shelf I have to put together and get it out there, and just start making room for my seeds starting. I just gotta clean up and organize and things like that. If you guys want to see any of that, let me know. I can film some of the stuff I have to do in the greenhouse. It really is just kind of a wreck out there because I had to take my potting table out and bring it inside and put the trees in there, and it's just kind of like a haphazard mess out there. So I'm going to start getting things ready and hopefully start my winter sowing on the same day, and I can just make a big video out of it. So this video is really just talking. So I hope you're still here, kind of hanging out, enjoying talking about seeds with me, just regular, random spring related stuff, and getting excited for the coming year. My compost pile is doing amazing. We do have rabbits outside, pet rabbits, and they are a meat breed. We're considering whether or not we're going to be using any of them for meat in the future. Still a little wishy-washy on that. But we do have a compost pile outside that we put together with pallets, and the compost is doing really, really well. We have to go out there and continually turn it and keep an eye on it, but we're throwing a lot of the rabbit manure into it, and that really helps boost it and make it rich. We're throwing rabbit manure out into the garden, and I can't wait to kind of like till that all in this year. If you guys want a video on composting, we can absolutely talk about composting. There's just so much we can talk about and do when it comes to gardening. And if you guys have any ideas and questions and things that you want to see discussed on this channel, please let me know below and give me some ideas of things that we can do and talk about together, because I am all here for it. Even things like cooking, if there's some recipes that you want, if there's some things that you want to see, how do you make this and how do you make that? I cook everything. I love cooking, I love baking. We can definitely cover it on this channel. I'm actually thinking about doing a video on making homemade bagels. So if you want to see that, let me know and I'll do that video very soon. So I think that's really everything I wanted to talk about, as just what's coming up, what's going on. Why not to start your seeds early was really the main point of this video. And just get excited for spring, guys, because it's coming. Things are starting to warm up. It's getting nice outside. The sun is coming, the days are lengthening, and yay. So we'll be out in our gardens so soon, and I just can't wait. I hope you guys are excited about it. Well, I hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next time. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and just please participate in the comments below, because I really want to see this channel become like a community where we all just are here for each other. That's my goal. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. I will give you guys a link to both my website, where you can get botanical-based skincare, herbal teas, and bath-related items. I make all sorts of products, and I'll also link my nonprofit organization below. Please consider supporting that. It is all about getting native trees out into the community, replacing some of the invasive species, and we do plant-free trees for families. So please check that out as well, and I will talk with you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.